Hey MTG fans, welcome to another episode of All's Fair in Love and Lore. This week we have a character spotlight on one of the most iconic and influential villains in the history of Magic the Gathering, Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth was first introduced to us in the Antiquities expansion set of Magic the Gathering. And while Yawgmoth himself wasn't directly depicted as a card in this set, his presence loomed large in the flavor and lore surrounding the artifacts and characters featured in the set. It wasn't until later expansions and storylines that Yawgmoth's character was further developed and expanded upon, particularly during the Weatherlight Saga and the Phyrexian Invasion storyline arcs. According to The Thran, written in 1999 by J. Robert King, Yawgmoth emerged during a tumultuous period within the Thran Empire, marked by a fierce rivalry between the Artificer-aligned elite Imperialists and the Eugenicist-aligned Republican faction. With a deep fascination for the intricacies of the human body and a belief in its mechanical marvels, Yawgmoth became a prominent advocate for the eugenicist cause. However, when the Imperialists triumphed over the Republicans, Yawgmoth and his fellow eugenicists faced blame and exile, their once championed ideals now viewed with suspicion and scorn. During his exile, Yawgmoth embarked on a global journey, traversing diverse civilizations in his relentless pursuit of knowledge. Throughout this period, he committed numerous atrocities, displaying a ruthless and cold-hearted nature in his quest for understanding. After 5 years of exile, Yawgmoth received an unexpected summons back to the Thran capital of Halcyon. Despite the populace being unaware of his dark deeds, a significant medical crisis had gripped the city. Glacian, the esteemed chief artificer, had been viciously attacked with a power stone and afflicted with an unprecedented illness resistant to Thran healing techniques. Desperate for a solution, Glacian's wife, Rebecca, sounds like part of her name's missing, but it's not. Anyway, Rebecca utilized her authority as chief architect to request Yawgmoth's return, banking on his knowledge of eugenics to uncover a remedy. Yawgmoth's medical prowess proved invaluable when he diagnosed a mysterious illness. Let me try to pronounce this. Phthisis. Afflicting Glacian and many untouchables living beneath the mana rig. He devised a serum using metals to combat the disease, earning him acclaim and a seat on Halcyon's council. However, Yawgmoth's political ascent was marred by manipulation. He secretly diluted the serum to maintain control over the untouchables. When rebellion threatened, he cunningly leveraged the unrest to consolidate power, ultimately gaining control of the Halcite Guard and earning the aid of the planeswalker Dyfed. With Dyfed's assistance, Yawgmoth prepared for a final confrontation, crafting an artifact to control all Power Stone technology and quell rebellion once and for all. Yawgmoth's rise to power in Halcyon was met with celebration, but his past atrocities caught up with him when representatives from nations he had wronged declared war on those who supported him. With the threat of war looming, the Thran Council voted on Yawgmoth's fate, leading to a tie broken by Yawgmoth and Rebecca themselves. Seizing the opportunity, Yawgmoth betrayed the council, imprisoning its members and the delegates. Sometime later, Dyfed opened a permanent portal from Dominaria to Phyrexia, the plane which Yawgmoth wanted to make his paradise. And determined to do so, Yawgmoth transformed himself into a god within its core, using the plane to heal patients afflicted with phthisis. Evolving his followers and waging war with the Alliance against him, Yawgmoth faced challenges, including betrayal from Dyfed, whom he incapacitated to study her planeswalking abilities. However, Yawgmoth's plans were thwarted when the destruction of the Null Sphere led to Halcyon's demise, forcing its inhabitants to flee to Phyrexia. Despite his power, Yawgmoth's downfall came from within. Rebecca, horrified by his actions, closed the portal between Phyrexia and Dominaria, using power stones implanted in her husband, sealing Yawgmoth and his followers out for eternity, or so she'd hoped. Yawgmoth's relentless efforts in Phyrexia birthed the first true Phyrexians, who embarked on conquests across multiple planes, using inhabitants as raw material for their twisted creations. However, Yawgmoth's plans were hindered when he realized that Rebecca managed to lock him out of Dominaria completely. Years later, the archaeologist brothers Urza and Mishra disturbed the Power Stone sealing the portal to Phyrexia, inadvertently setting off a chain of events. Gix, now a completed Phyrexian, plotted to manipulate the brothers into igniting a devastating war, ultimately aiming for Phyrexian infiltration and domination. The war culminated in Urza activating the Golgothian Silex, resulting in catastrophic destruction. Despite Phyrexia's initial setbacks, Yawgmoth approved Gix's plan to infiltrate Dominaria using sleeper agents. However, Urza's relentless pursuit led to the completion of the Shard of the 12 Worlds, thwarting Phyrexian infiltration. In a desperate attempt to stop Urza, Yawgmoth invaded his mind, driving him further into madness. Urza's eventual return to Dominaria led to the eradication of sleeper agents and the demise of Gix. Although Phyrexia's plan suffered setbacks, Yawgmoth's determination to eliminate Urza persisted, leading to further conflicts across the multiverse. In response to setbacks, Yawgmoth shifted his strategy from infiltration to outright invasion of Dominaria. He began amassing an army and constructed the artificial plane of Wrath, intending to merge it with Dominaria in a massive assault. Meanwhile, Yawgmoth continued to target Urza, recognizing him as a significant threat. Sleeper agent Kirik successfully destroyed Urza's academy on Teleria, leading Urza to send Karn back in time to prevent the attack. Despite Karn's intervention, the academy was still destroyed, causing time distortions that trapped Kirik. As Evankars overlaid Wrath with parts of Dominaria, the plane became a hub for experimentation on beings from various planes. Among them were the Core, whose origins were tied to Urza's bloodline project, a scheme to create warriors genetically predisposed to combat Phyrexia. Yawgmoth intensified raids on Dominaria to eradicate these bloodline creations, leading to widespread devastation and the rise of myths about eternal warfare. Despite Yawgmoth's efforts, some bloodline children like Gerard, heir to Urza's legacy, evaded capture, posing a persistent threat to Yawgmoth's plans. The assaults on Dominaria became ingrained in local folklore, spreading tales of a machine lord perpetually warring against the plane. After centuries of preparation, Yawgmoth launched a full-scale invasion of Dominaria, led by his commanders Krovax and Sabo Tavik. Despite devastating plagues and shock troops, Dominaria's defenders fought fiercely, delaying Phyrexia's victory. As the war raged, Yawgmoth sensed resistance from the spirit of Rebek, whom he believed had become the Dominarian world soul. In the war's final hours, Yawgmoth manifested as a black death cloud, resurrecting fallen defenders to fight for Phyrexia. Yet hope remained. Urza and Gerard, aboard the skyship Weatherlight, gathered white mana from the null moon. Yawgmoth attempted to flee to Phyrexia, but was trapped by magma from the activated volcano. Seeing the Weatherlight as Rebek's embodiment, Yawgmoth sought to destroy it, but Gerard completed the legacy, a device that struck Yawgmoth's form with a sentient light, ultimately defeating him. 100-ish years later, the godlike being Corona was looking for other beings like her. She first summoned a god for each color of magic, and the black one appeared to be Yawgmoth. Later, she traveled across the plains and ended up in Phyrexia, devastated by the 9 titans, but still holding together. There, she met a disembodied voice claiming to be Yawgmoth, suggesting that he was still alive and needed her help to rebuild. However, subsequent canon sources have explicitly confirmed Yawgmoth's death, and given Corona's unstable nature, this supposed encounter was likely just a manifestation of her warped psyche. Alternatively, the whispering voice might have been a lingering echo or faded memory of the dead god's former power in Phyrexia. Given Corona's near omnipotence and unique power to shape reality, it's conceivable that she alone might have been able to resurrect Yawgmoth and restore his broken plane had she truly wished. In any case, she declined to do so, recoiling in horror from Phyrexia and fleeing its shattered husk. Let's talk magic cards real quick. The true appearance of the Dark God was finally unveiled on the Dominaria card, Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Yawgmoth received his card, Yawgmoth Thran Physician, in Modern Horizons. However, this card represents Yawgmoth as a human in the days of the Thran, rather than the Phyrexian god. Yawgmoth is also associated with the following cards: Eye of Yawgmoth, Kirik, Son of Yawgmoth, Machine God's Effigy, Order of Yawgmoth, Priest of Yawgmoth, Red Priest of Yawgmoth, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, Yawgmoth Demon, Yawgmoth Merfolk Soul, Yawgmoth's Agenda, Yawgmoth's Bargain, Yawgmoth's Edict, Yawgmoth's Testament, and Yawgmoth's Will. I hope you guys enjoyed this super long video over Yawgmoth. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. You are beautiful, smart, and important. I hope you have a good rest of your week. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me.